Three, two, one, and we're on. This is SHB Unfiltered, the podcast. But before I hand over to Chris, let's take a trip down memory lane. Past 7 weeks.
My name is Ruben. This is SHB Unfiltered, brought to you by the StopHoldingBack Foundation.
Can you hear that, yeah?
UK personal development charity geared towards improving the lives of people who stutter.
That's it, Max.
We are the only podcast run by people who stutter, talking about a range of topics, streaming live and taking Q&A. We are committed to changing the way people think about stuttering, breaking barriers,
Definitely got
potential. Please support us on Patreon.
I just started the video actually
for the next episode.
I just started the video actually, so
Change begins when you stop holding back.
I love this drop, by the way. All right, guys, before I carry on, we're going to go through some clips. So tell me if you can or can't hear this.
that's literally how this has just started.
Yeah. So this is episode 1, day 1 of. This is the first episode, how it started.
Yeah, well, I just started the video actually.
Jiu-jitsu, man.
I just started the video actually, so that's literally how this has just started. You just told me you got coronavirus.
Yeah, I think I got corona, yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, after going to the session that Ruben gave a talk at UCL last year, I think that was really enlightening, and in terms of me being able to get the information that I needed in terms of, around other people who have a stutter and what they go through. And the topic of that session was thriving with a stutter. So really, getting an understanding of other people's journeys and how they've overcome that, and really, done really amazing things in their lives. So, Ayo specifically, I mean, to hear your story, man, that was truly inspirational. And even you, Chris, like I'm sure you boys are now doing amazing things.
3, 2, 1, and we are live and recording. Ruben Pillai and Sanjog Sandhu on the SHB Unfiltered podcast, episode number 6, right?
I don't know. I've only been on 2 of them, so I have no idea how many you've overall done.
Part-time, and plus you've had that mad haircut, so
yeah,
I guess you could consider yourself a completely different person. But we're gonna welcome our resident cue ball.
Yes, Sanjog. Yes, Sanjog, my guy.
Surprise, everyone.
No way. Never. Everyone has the right to do whatever they want to get the help that they need. And if they feel like, but 1 minute, I didn't even attend another call. This is the thing. So the reason why they've revoked my membership isn't actually valid at all, because I haven't been to any other intensive therapy programs.
Yeah, Chris received his P45.
What?
Yeah, because the speech was all about how poor the support was for people who were struggling. All of the people who weren't struggling got all the speaking time, all of the cool stuff where they can actually become these coaches and feel like they're important. Whereas if you were struggling, you were told to just be quiet and sit in the corner. Not told to, but that's the impression I felt. They were told to just be quiet, stay in the corner and breathe. Breathe until you can use the technique and join in. But until you can use the technique, you couldn't really join in, and you felt like an outcast, like you weren't working hard enough, like you wasn't performing.
We need that speech challenge, which when we're at work, we usually get it pretty much with every other speaking situation.
It's not a Mickey Mouse program. That's the problem.
I was just trying to get some juicy information out of you. Welcome to the SHB Unfiltered podcast. We are live on Facebook. Today is episode number, Ruben?
19. Episode 19.
Today is episode 19.
Guest who is up very late. He's from the Pakistan Stammering Association, Ahmed, and he's here to kind of share what's happening in Pakistan and talk a bit about his experiences. And
like, was it difficult to see the blip? Did you not understand why?
Yeah, I mean, I understood obviously with Dad. I know these things can trigger. You know, it is what it is. But for me, as long as I was just helping you any way I could, helping you help yourself, obviously. You know, like you used to say to me, whenever I call you, you had to say Christopher Jackson speaking, things like that. If you forgot, I'd make sure you say it, things like that.
21, which means we have been streaming for 21 consecutive days.
Episode number 30 today.
3, 2, 1, and we're on. We're live. We're recording. This is SHB Unfiltered, the podcast. Episode number what, Chris?
Episode 40 today.
Episode 40. So this is episode 40 of SHB Unfiltered. Chris, what episode are we on today?
Episode 50.
Episode 50. Wow. How did that feel?
That was mad.
Was it good?
To look back. Oh man, the first episode, you in your
Dude,
bed.
Dude, that was so cringe. You know what? Like, because even just the way that first one started, you were coughing and I was just giggling in bed and it was shambles. But it just kind of showed that this wasn't about kind of being perfect or putting something amazing out there straight away. This was all about progression, consistency. Because I still remember the origins of the podcast purely because we were told stay at home, self-isolate, and we started to have like so many cool conversations over Zoom. The three of us, a few other people. And I just said, like, come on, man, we plan to start this podcast in April and get the studio, but circumstances changed. So you have to adapt. And we went daily, first day, and we made a promise saying, dude, like every day, let's do an episode, treat it like a radio show, Q&A live on Facebook. So if anyone's got any questions, I can already see people tuning in. If you have any questions for us, this is our 50th consecutive episode live on Facebook. We record. This goes on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. And this is us putting ourselves out there on the line. And I guess showing people who started that you can do whatever the hell you want. Like if you put your mind to it, and if you have the right people around you, then there's so much you can achieve. And you could also see the progression in our hair as the episodes went on. Look at me, man! Like when this first started, I did not think I would end up on the 50th episode of a podcast with an Alice band on. Come on! But my hair without the band is it's one hell of a sight. So I think I'm in the right choice. Thinking back at some of those clips, that's only a handful. There were so many other things I could have gone through and picked up, but time was of the essence, obviously. And again, like just this isn't about kind of like putting out something perfect, because if we did, we could have put out maybe 2 or 3 episodes over the last 7 weeks. 7 weeks, incredible. 50 episodes in 7 weeks. And I'm gonna stop talking right now because I'm super excited. But I want you guys to share your thoughts and take as long as you want.
It feels good to watch those clips to see how, especially Chris has grown. It's been really, really cool to see the journey. And even myself, to see myself in a lot of those clips, my journey. As when the idea of the podcast was first told to me, I was a bit resistant because I was working on other things. But now I feel so excited and privileged to be a part of this podcast because it's helping a lot of people. People are learning more about stuttering in a different way, in a more proactive way, so they can use this information to better themselves and their lives. And I'm just really grateful to be a part of that. I just want to thank Ruben for being a great host, man. The best podcast host I've ever seen in my life. This guy can just fill this guy can
more
just
podcasts, bro.
This guy can just fill the gaps so it doesn't get awkward. Really, really good. You know, I'm just really happy again to be a part of StopHoldingBack in general. And I just see this going and going. Great stuff, guys.
CJ, your turn, I think.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy to watch that back. It was really, really cool to see the first few episodes. I was shy. I was nervous. I was thinking, what do I look like? What do people think of me? How are we coming across? Quickly learned to scrap all that. Forget all that. Just focus on what we're doing here, what we're trying to achieve, and everything else will fall into place. Yes, we plan to launch in April. Yes, things changed for us in the world, and we wasn't able to stick to that plan. But I think we just proved that if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way, and if you don't, you'll make an excuse. So that's what we did. We managed to find a way somehow to implement our plan, and it's gone a lot better than expected. Episode 50 now. It's crazy.
Fantastic. So, guys, just to kick things off, thank you very much for your feedback on the last 49 episodes. So we're at number 50 now, and it feels like a surreal moment as well, because it's been something that I was thinking about maybe 2 weeks ago, because up until a certain point, it wasn't clear when lockdown would end. But we knew that kind of this would go into June, etc. So 50 was on the cards, and I think I put pressure on myself to actually make 50 quite special. But to be honest, I'm gonna keep it simple, but try to have a bit of fun with it as well. So what I want to do, I can see a couple of people joined the feed in Facebook, so thank you very much. Please post any questions that you like to hear answers to. Just drop in any comments and stuff, and we will really appreciate that. We always appreciate and show love to whoever's watching. Got a good evening from Leo. Leo is one of our boys from Finland. So must be this time 9 o'clock in Finland. Got a hi from Adam Wright. Hi Adam, how's it going, brother? Got Adam Wright can hear Ruben. I think that was a while ago when we were testing sound. Got quite a few other people joined. So thank you very much for popping by, and if you're still here, thank you very much. Now, Chris, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
So this is a challenge actually. So in order, excluding AO, tell me who have been the other people that have graced the podcast in order.
In order.
But if you can't do the order, then you can just say the names. But if you give the order, then you get a bonus brownie points.
Aaron was first. Aman was first. No, it was your mate from Australia who was first. Apart from Sanjog, though. Apart from Sanjog.
Well, I said apart from AO, so you can't just change the question, dude.
Okay, sorry. So the first person was Sanjog. Then it was your friend from Australia that you worked with.
Rahul.
Then it was Aman. Rahul. Then it was Aman.
Amar.
Huh?
Amar.
Amar, sorry. Amar. Then it was Chris and Max. Then it was Kenny. No, it wasn't. It was it was Ahmed, then it was Chris and Max, then it was Kenny, then it was Amar and Niru, that's it, yeah. Amar and Niru. Who else? That's it, I think.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, there you go.
Congratulations.
Good memory.
That was tough, though. That was tough.
With a bit of help. With a bit of help. A few other questions kind of coming in. Well, from me. I'm gonna hand the next one to Ao. And this is probably an easy one, but a hard one. Ao, what's your like from the ones you remember? What's your favorite topic that we covered?
Oh, it was episode 10, but the topic I'm not sure. What was it? That called?
I remember. I had a feeling you were going to say episode 10, but
episode 10.
Yeah, I do remember the topic actually. It was in regards to exclusion of certain programs.
Yes.
Community, yeah.
That was a great episode.
Very, very good. CJ, in terms of like topical episodes, I think the majority of we took care of ourselves. Which has been kind of your most, I think, important topic? So just to throw a few out there, if you give me a second, we had turn that sound up in the background. So we had like toxic masculinity, mindfulness, types of breathing, the future of speech therapy, personality parody. So personality paradigm, I think.
Okay.
How to self-coach.
I like the self-actualization one, and I like the one about getting into a relationship or dating, rather.
Yeah, that went down well here as well.
I like those two. I think those two are good. The self-actualization one, I like that one because we cleared up a lot in that one. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of misinformation out there when it comes to self-actualization. And I think we ironed it out for everyone. So now they know exactly what it is. And once you work that out, you can start to realize what you're working towards, working on how to live life to your full capabilities and your fulfilled life. And I think when you have a stutter and you want to get into the dating scene and you want to go on dates and you want to talk to girls, it's very hard. It can be very hard. So I think that's an important topic for a lot of people that stutter. It's a big topic that people have a lot of apprehension about. So I like them ones.
Fantastic. So we got a comment from Callum, who is a massive supporter of the podcast, and we are his fans as well. Thanks, Callum, for everything, actually. I just want to highlight one of his points. Let's scroll up. My highlight has been the self-actualization episode. This really hit home and taught me a lot. Been a cracking 50 days. Definitely has. And we've got a question, actually. So I'm going to throw it straight back at you two. From Adam Wright, what's your relationship like with the BSA, the British Stuttering and Association? CJ.
Our relationship was pretty good. Our relationship was, I think it's quite good. We've met with Jane. We went to the BSA offices. We met with everyone there, discussed and told them what SHB is about. They were very interested in the work we do. And they were prepared to include us on their website and advertise us as a legitimate intervention program, a legitimate option for people that are struggling with their speech. So I feel like we have a pretty good relationship with the BSA.
I also agree. I think we have a strong relationship with like Jane and a few of the people involved in the actual running of the charity, and they have given us opportunity to speak at some of their events. So Chris did a great talk. What was it, 2018 or 17?
2018.
Yeah, 2018 at an ISAD event, which was really, really good. And Ayo and I actually spoke on the same event as Adam Wright in the same year, I think. And I did something last year for BSA. So we have been actively contributing. And I guess like we do have our own kind of platform here, and we do our own work, etc. But we are happy. We are happy to work alongside the BSA, and we hope that they will reach out to us and kind of join up at some point, because there are some synergies between the two organizations. So yeah, rock and roll. Leo just dropping a comment saying, me too. And the dating episode was his favorite. It was nice to hear his mate's background stories. So thank you very much, Leo. It was nice to actually share some of those and insights right into our past. And I guess like for guys especially, dating is a massive thing, and stuttering is just another barrier. So discussing different stories and experiences on the episode would have reverberated with many people tuning in. So thank you very much. Ayo, got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How many episodes have you been a part of?
27.
So you've been on 27 episodes.
You're gonna tell me I'm correct or wrong?
I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. But the only problem is I can't tell you the exact number. But it's a lot less. I was actually hoping that you had
15.
Sorry? Yeah, I think
it's about 15. Half.
That's not too bad. That's like what, 30%.
Yeah.
Success rate.
Success rate. Cheers, man.
That's right. Yeah, 30%. It isn't too far away from me and CJ's perfect innings, man. Perfect innings. But guys, just wanna tune this up and take it a bit more like to a serious point now. Like each of you taking turns, maybe CJ go first. What's been the biggest thing you've learned about yourself kind of in these last 7 weeks?
The biggest thing that I've learned about myself has been my ability to pick up new skills. That is the biggest thing that I've learned about myself. I was always the type of person that I would prefer to seek help or even pay someone else to do it and move out of their way to make my life easier when it came to things that I hadn't got experience in before. And during this time, I've taken it upon myself to do certain things and try to learn things. So that's the main thing that I've learned about myself, that my mindset and my attitude that I put towards my speech, I have to put towards everything else, and I will make progress in other areas of my life as well as speech. There is still room to grow in other areas other than speech. And I've learned that I can quite quickly learn new skills if I just apply myself and be a bit patient.
And Tanya?
For me, the biggest thing is learning to stay consistent and learning to stay persistent as well. That's the biggest thing, because I've partaken in a lot of walks on this lockdown. I've gone on quite a few walks, and I've had time to think. I've had time to restructure a lot of things in my life, and it's great. And I now have a different way of thinking in terms of what I'm going to do, what we're going to do, Stop Holding Back, and how that's going to translate into my personal life. So this whole 7 weeks, I think it's been, for me, has been actually the biggest change in a long time for me, and it's been great. It's been actually great for me.
Yeah, massive. For me personally, I think like these 7 weeks from a personal perspective have been massive growth opportunity, growth period. I've learned so much. One of the biggest things I'm thankful of is being able to apply so much of what I've learned and read over the years, and I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity to apply it and really take this podcast go every single day, which is very consistent. So that's massive. Now, I just got a comment from Samir Farid. Ruben, not sure if you remember me, but I met you at Tiger Muay Thai in 2012. Really proud of you and what you've accomplished. Samir, I do remember you. We met in 2011 actually, and we sparred quite a few times, and you were a brilliant guy, and thank you for commenting. It's been, we're in 2020 now, so a long 9 years of growth and opportunity and everything, and thanks for the shout out, brother. Good to see you. Ayo, got a question for you. So you were a massive part of the podcast when we started, but then you had kind of like a lot of stuff going on, so you had to drop off for a bit, but then you made a return about 2 weeks ago, so probably when we were in the 30s. What was the biggest kind of difference you saw when you came back? Did you feel like the difference, something had changed, and what kept you here for the episodes up to this point?
The biggest difference I've seen now being back more consistently with the podcast for me is my speech. Actually stepping outside my comfort zone, working on my speech in a different way. I think being on this podcast has really pushed me to the wall in some aspects. I know you can't really see it because we're people stutter, and sometimes we don't show the tension, we don't show what we're really feeling when we're speaking. But trust me, at some moments I've had a lot of tension, but I've always remembered why I'm here, what I'm doing. I'm not doing this to be perfect. I'm not doing this to portray as something I'm not. I'm here to work on my speech, and I'm here to show other people who stutter it's okay to stammer and it's okay to work on their speech. And that's the biggest lesson I've learned since returning to the podcast.
CJ.
Yeah.
Like from an outside perspective, what did you see in Ayo? So when he left and came back, have you seen kind of any progression in him, like behind the camera, behind the mic, or just him in general? Do you think this podcast has added value since he's returned, and vice versa?
Yeah, I think massively. I think the biggest change I've noticed in Ayo is not just speech, it's his enthusiasm as well. His enthusiasm. At the beginning of lockdown, he had a lot going on, and it was like, I need to sort this out first, and then I can focus on this. And that's exactly what he did. And he had to take that step back, sort out what it was he needed to sort out. And then he knew where his priorities needed to lie after that. And he came back, and the enthusiasm is back again. Is getting back to the old AO with that infectious personality and pumping people up and motivating them. He's the first one at reading club every morning. I hear he's consistent. He's committed, and that's exactly what we need in the stuttering community. People that are willing to admit, okay, I did fall off. Okay, yeah, I did, but I'm back and I'm going again. And there's no shame in that. And the enthusiasm is back again.
This is what I love about the three of us and SHB, because SHB Unfiltered podcast, the only daily podcast between people who started going live on Facebook every single day. This was literally an idea that was a conversation, and we implemented it the next day. Simple as that. And we've been running it every single day for 50 days now. SHB Reading Club, which is a practice session for people stuttering around the world. So we've had sessions with people from 5 or 6 different countries, from Croatia to Finland, to Canada, America, Wales. And these sessions are for people just to come and read, apply any techniques that they want to. We don't say anything. They can just read, do a few sentences, pass it over to the next person, and we do it as a group every single day. And this started off as a conversation between me and Ayo, and it was just like, just said, hey, like, shall we phone each other every morning now, practice and read through this book, John Harrison Redefining Stuttering. And we started doing it, told a few people, and they wanted to join as well. Chris done a Canva course, and bang, we got our poster, and SHB Reading Club was born. And that's how simple it is. That's how simple it was. And it's taken the commitment and consistency from AO to actually keep that going. And probably, Chris, you would say that would you agree that it's probably harder to actually run the reading club than podcast? Because 7 a.m. is 7 a.m., isn't it?
Yeah. And especially in the situation that we're in now, where people have tendencies to go to bed really late, body clocks all over the place. So to get up at 6:30, be ready, be like in the mood and pumping everyone up. He's the ringleader of that book club. He's the one that's getting everyone else. Everyone else is showing up because they know AO is turning up. So I would say it's like definitely as hard, if not harder, to run the book club.
I have a plan though. Once this lockdown is over, it's going to be the 6 a.m. book club. It's going to be the 6 a.m. and then we're going to see who's really committed to work on their speech.
Dude, the 6 a.m. book club, you'll just be you by yourself, falling asleep in front of a camera.
Let's see. Let's see who's ready.
You might see me there as well. You might see me there as well. Adam Wright says, love it, AO. That's in response to AO reacting to like what was happening in his life and how he sounded in mental health, and returned to the podcast and started to organize the day a bit better, and yeah, just try and get to a better place, because these things, you can't do it in a single day, to be honest. And you could do by yourself, but it may take a lot longer and a lot more effort. It's easier with people, like good people around you. And just turning up every day, just managed to, this is like a pivot, right? This is my my reference point for the day, the podcast. I know it starts loosely between 6:30 and 7 p.m. But this is my pivot for the day, and I build everything around that, from dinner to Netflix to work, spending time with my missus, etc. Like, she understands, everyone gets how important this is. Going forward, guys, SHB Unfiltered, does this end when lockdown ends? That is the question.
Hell no. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. This will never, ever end. Not until I'm dead and you're dead and Chris is dead.
CJ, I don't know how you can top that.
No, man, we're just getting warmed up here, Ruben. This is our training. This is our little 50 episode training program.
Definitely.
We're gonna come strong after lockdown's over. Trust me.
That's a good question, actually. So, if you were coaching someone who stutters and they were thinking of starting a podcast, what would you advise them to do for like the next 2 months? If they want to start a podcast in August, what would you advise them to do now?
Start a podcast now. That's what I would advise them.
And how often?
What is the point in waiting till August? Because as far as I'm concerned, you're going to be 3 months behind schedule if you wait until August.
Let me give you a bit more context then. So they want to get it professionally filmed, post-production, go into a studio and do all that jazz in August. What would you recommend they do now in preparation for that?
I'll be doing as many podcasts as I can over Zoom, because trust me, when you get into that studio, that you think once I get in the studio, everything's going to be fine and perfect, and you haven't done any podcasts before, trust me, that first episode, and you're paying by the hour to use that studio, is not going to come out the way you envision. And you're going to be very disappointed, and you would have spent money, you'd be out of pocket, and it would have just been a complete waste of time. Whereas you can do your training now, you can get warmed up, you can learn how to restructure, you can learn how to implement different things and get your guests on. And by the time you get into that studio, you'll be ready. And you won't be intimidated by all the equipment and the camera.
It also makes more sense to actually build your fan base for free. So do, like Chris said, do Zoom and practice and build a fan base. And when you've got people actually checking in to your podcast, spend a bit of money and improve your podcast. But until then, just get on Zoom. Just get on Zoom and practice.
Got a lovely comment from Leo in the Facebook feed. Ayo is an amazing inspiration. He got me to SHB. He's always helping people and motivating. Can't thank him enough. Indeed, this is only the beginning. So thank you very much, Leo, for this kind comment to Ayo. I can see him welling up a bit, getting totes emotion. Ayo, what's been your biggest challenge apart from the re-return and kind of stuttering speech-wise, that area? What's been your challenge podcast-wise? Has this tapped into other skills and other areas that you A, didn't know you had, and B, things that you need to work on now? Are there other parts of your repertoire that you need to work on?
Good question. It's made me realize that I'm on this journey to become a better speaker, and I feel like because I'm more part of what we're doing here, I'm enjoying that journey more. Before the podcast, I wasn't really concerned about becoming a better speaker. I was more concerned about doing other stuff. But this podcast has made me realize that communication, again, it's made me realize again, this is something I've always known, but I just maybe paid it little attention. But communication in life is everything, literally everything. And at the beginning, I took the podcast for granted a little bit, and I didn't see it as so serious and how it could actually help me with my speech and help me improve my persistence, my consistency, and just my mood. Being on this podcast makes me happy. actually takes me out of what I'm doing in my day to day. And while I'm on this podcast, I'm giving value to people. We're giving value to people, and we're inspiring people, and it actually feels good. It feels good to do that. So this podcast has been a blessing, for sure.
CJ, biggest challenge, biggest learning curve, steepest learning curve?
In terms of the podcast alone, you mean? Or just as a whole of lockdown? Podcast as a whole. Biggest learning curve. Biggest learning curve is just to get comfortable in front of the camera. Being able to show up every day. At the beginning, it was like I would sit here and you'd be talking and there'll be all these things going on in my head. My heart might start to beat a little bit and Aya would be talking, and it was taking me back a little bit to pre-working on my speech days. You know, when you're nervous or you're in a classroom and everyone's taking their turn to speak and it's coming to your turn and you start getting more and more nervous. And I think the biggest learning curve for me was just to accept that you're going live, whatever happens, happens. You have to become comfortable with whatever is thrown at you. There's times that you've told me, okay, CJ, you're going to take the lead 2 minutes before we go on. Am I going to punk out or am I going to carry on? And that's the biggest learning curve for me. The show has to go on regardless of what role you're playing in this podcast.
And Chris, just one more actually for you. Who's been your favorite guest or best guest experience? Whichever way you want to answer it.
I think Kenny.
Guest. Yeah.
I think Kenny was cool. I like Kenny a lot. He's a nice guy. I like the way he framed things. I like the way he implemented things. I like the idea that he had with his notebook where he kept a little journal and kept reminding himself of stuff that had happened during the day and what to work on. I like things like that. I like people that approach it like that. And I think Amar's jokes, man. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy.
I want to tell him that now, and the guy's head cannot get any bigger.
What about you, Ruben? What do you think your steepest learning curve of this whole process has been?
Steepest learning curve is probably the stamina part of it, because to be honest, there's been days when get to 5:30, 6 o'clock and been busy at work, call after call after call, WebEx, Skype, conference call, getting ambushed by different people. And then you get half an hour, 15, 20 minutes break before you have to go into the podcast and do another video call. And I know it's podcast, a lot of fun, brilliant. But sometimes just having a tech break or just away from the screen for a bit is quite nice. But we signed up to doing this daily, and this is the consequence of it. And I did have to actually G myself up and really push myself, put the energy in, go upstairs, do my affirmations, visualize, and come back downstairs and attack the podcast and just keep that going, because you can kind of tell when energy is low at times, and is up to the facilitator or the host or the co-host or whoever the hell it is to actually take the podcast over the line and get it over the line. I've been pretty good with keeping post-production as simple as possible. Don't do too much sound editing with this because it's daily. That's going to change when we go weekly or bi-weekly, because you get more time, you can dedicate time to it, take out pops and bangs and do the rubbish. But for the purposes of SHB Unfiltered, one thumbnail, Zoom, just chop it and upload it and on to the next one. That's been one of the best things I've done in terms of podcast mechanics, because if I overcomplicated it, then I would have had to quit my job and just spend all my time on this, which it isn't feasible. It isn't feasible. So that's been steep. And in terms of my favorite guest or best guest, most memorable guest, that's a really good question, because we've had like different people bring different aspects to the table. So you got your cousins were on giving like insight into like yourself, maybe reinforcing some things we already knew about you, but hearing it from like firsthand from your cousins. Then having my friends on there as well, doing similar things, which was quite cool. We had Ahmed from Pakistan on, from their Stammering Foundation, which shows the global reach of SHB Unfiltered, which is really, really cool. And and I have to say, like, Sanjog brought a lot of value for those 2 or 3 episodes he was on. I think 4, maybe 4. And he's obviously doing his separate thing. That's the fly I'm looking at. But he's doing his separate thing, busy with that. But he'll be back in the fold some point, no doubt, and report back to us. But Sanjog brought us a lot of value, a lot of comedy value and insight into his experiences with different approaches, which I thought was quite good for the first few episodes, just to get us to like a comfortable state. So I think I mentioned like 4 or 5 different people, but I can't really pinpoint anyone in particular. I just need to thank everyone who's come on as a guest. Has been amazing. Just putting yourselves out there as we are doing. We're doing it every day. They just turned up and half the time did not know what they were signing up for. So I thank you all very, very much for actually being part of this project. You are part of the SHB Unfiltered family. You're part of a legacy. When we look back on COVID-19, we'll be thinking about these episodes that we've created, and they will be there for as long as YouTube is alive, Spotify, iTunes is on. These episodes will be there. So thank you very much. You are immortalized within SHB his history now. History. Lads, have you got any questions for me?
So who's next, Ruben?
What do you mean?
Who's the next guest? I've got an idea.
No, you tell me the idea offline, actually. Offline.
No, it's positive.
Wait, CJ.
It's positive.
Oh, you forgot one person, man. You forgot one person.
Who have I forgot?
Charlie.
No,
Simon
Charlie
Bailey.
didn't come on.
Simon Bailey.
Oh yeah, Simon Bailey. We had Simon Bailey on.
We've got Simon Bailey, episode number 3, I think.
Yeah, episode 3.
Episode 3. Simon not only happy, dude. Simon not only happy. All right, lads. What's been the best comment you've got in the Facebook feed? It can be from whoever. What's been your favorite comment, best comment, the most memorable one? If you can't remember any, just think of the one you can't remember, because there's a reason why you remember it.
It's the last one for me, which is from Leo. That was really, really nice to hear that.
It's because you gassed you up nicely, that's why.
I've inspired him. Yeah. It's cool. It's just cool to know that. Yeah,
very
it's
cool.
nice.
CJ.
I got one from, it wasn't a comment on the feed, but I got a message from Callum. I'm not going to bait him out. I'm not going to tell everyone exactly what he told me, but it was good to know that I was talking about a topic that he was concerned about, and he got some reassurance as a result of what he heard me say on the podcast. So that makes it all worth it. I always said that even if we just connect with one person and we help one person make a difference or make a little change or just inspire that one person, then that is more than enough for me at the moment. I'll just be happy to help one person, and I'm really happy that something that I said sparked something in someone that viewed, which is what we're here to do. What about you, Ruben?
What do you think my favorite comment is?
That
You're a good host.
Samir Farid is proud of you and what you've accomplished.
That is very, very nice, but that wasn't what I was thinking of actually. It was what do you guys actually do? you just sit around and talk all day.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Dude,
that guy.
That comment literally broke me. I was laughing out loud for a good few minutes. Because do you know what the funny thing is? Like, he's actually he's actually got a point. What do we do? Because all we do is talk. A, we've got a podcast. B, we coach people by talking. And C, we are locked down, so all we can do is talk. So I'm not sure exactly what he expected us to do.
It proves we're doing something good, right? Because he's hating on us, right? So it proves we're doing something. It's a good thing.
I'm not sure if it's hate exactly or just confusion or stupidity, but there is some misdirection or something didn't click for Robbo, but I'm sure he'll be back at some point to see how we're doing. And when he does, I'll welcome him with open arms as I always do, because SHB is open, inclusive for everyone. We are the we are like we have the widest arms, I think, in the Stuttering community. Probably like the smallest in terms of numbers and resources, but the widest in terms of appeal and reach. We just need people to just vouch for us publicly and not be scared of their home organizations. And then we'll be cracking on, right? We'll be cracking on.
Exactly. That's a big issue Stop Holding Back has right now. We have a lot of people we help, but a lot of people also are afraid to tell others that we help them. And that's a shame.
All right, cool. Last kind of, I think 10, 15 minutes, I'm going to throw some questions to the two of you. I'm going to go to first Chris, then Ayo, then Chris, then Ayo. And this will be actually quite fun. So we're going to play a small game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say a title. So the title could be a title of one of the episodes or not. Now you have to just say true or false. That's it. Yeah?
Yep.
Straightforward?
Yes.
Straightforward.
Okay. Start with Chris. Taking your speech to the next level.
No, man, that's false.
Oof. SSB Unfiltered episode 3.
Ah!
What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What, Simon Bailey?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Ayo. This one. This is working on your communication can get you a new job.
False.
Yeah, that was too late. So
That was so obvious. That's so obvious.
That's just a terrible title.
yeah, I'll see that. I'm sorry that these titles are like so good that I can't think of worse ones. Chris.
Yeah.
Stuttering community, friends, frenemies, and politics.
Yes. True.
Yeah, true. Episode 6.
Yep.
Ayo.
Remember that one clearly.
Ayo. Messi or Ronaldo?
True.
True. Damn. Okay. Chris, the impact of starting a business.
I don't think it was called that. No, false.
What was it called?
I can't remember, but it was on that topic.
You're right. It's impact of starting a charity. Ayo, finish off this sentence. Managing expectations of yourself and
Life.
those around you.
Sorry. I was way off.
Chris.
That didn't make sense.
Chris, finish off this title.
Good.
Fluent. Something.
Fluent.
This is your title. This was your idea as well to call it this.
Versus Woms.
Fluent. Something. I'll give you one more chance.
Give me the next word then.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Fluent.
Episode. Oh, you know what? I'll give you a clue. It was episode number 19.
Oh, I can't remember that, man.
Dude, Fluent family guests with Chris.
Fluent family guests. That was my cousin.
Terrible.
Oh man.
Terrible. Ayo. How to stay at your best once.
And for life.
No, once you make it there. Episode 33.
Oh, damn.
Chris. Finish off this one. Personality something within the stuttering something. Personality something within the stuttering something.
No, it was toxic personalities within the stuttering community.
Dude, you literally just combined the titles of 2 different episodes.
Oh God.
Do you want to try again, or do you forfeit this one?
Personality
Something within the stuttering something.
Traits.
Nope.
Personality differences.
Oof. No, close, but it's more of a profound word for it. Yeah, you aren't going to get it. It's personality paradox within the stuttering community.
Oh.
And do you remember what we were talking about there? Oof, I suggest you do some homework and rewatch episode 39 of the Stop Holding Back Unfiltered podcast.
39
it's only 10 days ago.
Sorry?
It's only 10. It's only 10. The 10 days ago. Days ago.
I'm going to slap you in a second, man. You're right.
Yeah. I'm drunk.
drunk on life.
Yeah.
CJ, a few more. Actually, wait. It's Ayo's turn. Dealing with judgment, especially.
Come again. Say again.
Dealing with judgment, especially. Something.
Within the stuttering community.
Nah.
Living in a stuttering community.
Especially.
With a severe stutter.
Nope.
With bad people around you. You don't care.
Oh, close, but I'm going to stop you there. Dealing with judgment, especially within your inner circle.
Oh, that's a good title.
Yes, it is. Last few. Your favorite episode 10. What's the exact title?
Is that for me or Chris?
Back to you. Don't worry. I'll come to Chris after.
Exclusion from stuttering program.
Close. Unethical exclusion from a speech course.
That's way off, man.
And CJ, final one. How many episodes did you host and which ones? Which numbers?
I'm not going to be able to tell you the numbers, but I've hosted, is it 3 or 4? And it was the cousins one. It was the one the other day, a couple of days back. I can't remember the titles of the other one. Is it 3 or is it 4?
I'm gonna guess 3.
Oh, okay.
I thought you would know.
I don't know the other one. I can't remember.
I thought it would be the kind of thing you would know, but I guess I was wrong. All right, guys, we're into the home straight for this episode. Have you got anything for me? Any questions? Any fun trivia or any final points for me?
What's been the best thing you've enjoyed, Ruben, about being a host? Not just the podcast, actually being the host of the podcast, playing that role. What's been the best part of it?
Like for me personally, it's been really, really good to actually own like the show and actually think of ideas in the day, sometimes 10 minutes before, and implement it, see what works, see what doesn't work, assess it, and then try something else the next day. And kind of like rinse and repeat. I've seen myself progress and gain more confidence in my style, become a bit more natural, become better from the camera, which is very, very important for like stuff we got planned for the rest of the year. And it's given me like a lot of motivation for my personal project. So I told you both, I'll be starting a separate podcast soon that isn't like stuttering centric. It will be for a wider audience, covering a range of things, but I'll be sharing more information about that later on. Hosting this podcast has actually given me a lot of experience, because you boys will understand you can't just pick up 50 episodes worth of a podcast hosting experience like within 2 months. It's not possible, but somehow we have managed to pull that off between 3 of us. And you can't take that away, because this is gonna be like something that we have achieved and done. Like when we look back 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, we're gonna still look back at this period of time. And when someone asks you, how did you spend quarantine lockdown 2020? Just send them the link to Podbean and to YouTube. And it's been really cool. I told Chris as well that we've had some of our best conversations on this podcast, and it's all captured. It's all there to like rewatch and watch. And our friendship has grown over the course of this podcast, and it's been great. I've seen him grow a lot. He's seen me grow a lot. So much good stuff out of it. So much good stuff. And it's just 1.5 hours per day, isn't it? Set up, record, post podcast, gassing a bit. You know what? If we recorded that as well, I think that would get a lot more views. But that could be for 2021. And yeah, like me and Chris were actually talking about plans for the rest of 2020. I don't think we have told you yet, by the way. Ayo. You
all right, come on in. I'm listening, bro.
You ready for SHB TV?
That's an old idea, man. You've done that before.
No, but doing it properly.
Let's do it.
SHB TV. We will immortalize these faces. These bodies will be immortalized. Chris, go on, man.
No, I was just going to say, hey, we're not talking about a YouTube video here and a YouTube video there. This is proper SHB TV. We're not talking about let's meet up in a couple months to make a video and then Ruben will edit it and then whenever it comes out, it comes out. This is going to be us three, SHB TV, consistently. Look out for it.
You ready here for this?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but yeah. Stop holding back.
That's spirit. That's spirit. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't want this episode to end, but unfortunately it has to end. What are we talking about? What is the take-home points? What have we learned from, you know what, like we've talked about the last 49 episodes. What have you gained from this particular one?
That speaking is fun. Speaking can be fun. Even if you have hard blocks, speaking can be fun because of Stop Holding Back. We forget, we cancel, and we move on. And we support each other. It's fun. Speaking can definitely be fun.
Yeah, and we launch before we're ready, and this is the outcome. This episode today is the outcome. If you seek perfection from episode number 1, you're going to be waiting a very long time. Just launch and you will end up at episode 50 like we have.
Before I say anything, I'm just going to say thank you to Callum for a lovely, lovely comment. Should be proud of what you've actually done. Thank you for keeping me entertained during lockdown and helping me personally as well. I really appreciate it. Callum, thank you so much for your support. You are a true fan, and we wish you all the best with your podcast, the Schofield Stories, and your 1 month of challenges. So Callum is challenging himself. He's doing comfort zone challenges every single day for a month, making a muppet of himself. But it's part of his practice to step out of his comfort zone and relinquish those insecurities and unleash his true potential and open his mind. Callum, best luck with that. Thank you very much for all your support. I have to say this episode number 50 has been really, really cool. It's been looking back at things, but with the two of you. I'm going to put a few things together for social media, some highlight clips, transition stuff. Chris, it's been a mad one. Thank you very much for turning up every single day. If I'm being straight up, I didn't think this would get past episode 10. But yeah, we're here. Yeah, we're here. And it takes a team to actually get to this point. It takes a team. And even AOE haven't been here for quite a few of them. You were part of this team. You were the one in the background asking us what's going on, how's it going, and helping us push things over the line. So this is a 3-man band that has taken it this far with a few people coming in, coming out, playing the triangle every now and then. So guys, thank you for being part of a fantastic podcast. I've had a blast, and I'll see you tomorrow for episode 51. This isn't the end, we're just carrying on. When the end comes, we'll tell you, and we will plan, pivot, and come back with something special. But guys, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna hand over to Chris to do the honors and consign SHB episode 50 to the books.
Thank you very much, guys. Ruben, Ayo, thank you very much. I'm Chris Jackson. You have been listening to SHB Unfiltered podcast, episode number 50. Thank you very much, guys. Remember, stop holding back.